here from Renworks and Sprint Motorsports. Today we're doing what we call the triple play. We're putting exhaust, intake, and tune on the new 992. Turn 14 was kind enough to send us an Akrapovic exhaust system, which we're still waiting on. It's supposed to arrive in a couple days. We have a lot of work to do and ahead of placement of that. Akrapovic's a good brand that we've always liked a lot, and it also works with the exhaust valve and control in the car. APR, this lovely box to send down ECU in. They just finished their tune on a 992 or their tuning upgrade performance software. Unfortunately, they don't have the box code for California yet, so they've been kind enough to sponsor us with a tune. We've also been a dealer for them for, say, almost 10 years. And we're gonna pull out the ECU, extract the ECU from the car, and send it back to APR so they can unlock the box code for that ECU, put it in their file, their database, and then put the tune in and send it back. The good thing is, now that we're doing that, the tune should be readily available for more ECUs for California spec Porsche cars, so of the 992 version. Lastly, IPD was kind enough to send us a Plenum. We've dealt with IPD Plenums for quite a long time, and they sent us this lovely Plenum right here that we're going to install on the Porsche. Now, for all this stuff that we're doing, unfortunately the whole rear end has to come off the car. We have to remove the wing, tail light assembly, the bumper, a few other pieces here and here, carriage assembly back underneath this wing. That's so we can have access to the engine. Porsche put the ECU in the engine compartment, which is kind of buried, and the Plenum itself is buried as well, and a little bit tight to get to, so hopefully my big hands won't be a huge hindrance. With that, we're going to start taping off all the necessary items in the car to protect it, and we're going to start slowly disassembling things for your viewing. We're going to time lapse this because this will take a while, and once we have the car completely apart, we'll have to wait for our new ECU to come back, as well as we're ready to put the exhaust in from Akrapovic in turn 14. As you can see, we've taped off the car. Mostly the parts that stick out are most likely to get damaged. We do this on most of the cars we work on. A little ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So, okay, start the assembly. We have to pop the hatch. Some people have asked us in previous videos if you have to raise the rear wing in order to pop the hatch, and the answer is yes, you do. If you leave the wing down, the hatch is only going to come up about maybe 1/4 of an inch, and that's not going to allow you to get the plastic pieces underneath that you need to remove. Our first step is, of course, we're going to pop the hatch. We're going to remove the plastic pieces in here, which we showed in another video, and now expose the screws that we need to remove to pull out the light bar here, or the LED strip. And then we're going to remove the tail lights, and then once we get the bumper off, then we'll start to remove carriage assembly for the wing and other stuff we have to get to the access of the engine and to be able to expose the whole rear of the motor actually. So we're going to get started. Just follow us along. We're going to time lapse the rest of this for you. We'll get started. As you can see, we have the bumper off, and we still have a lot of work left to do. We have the whole wing carriage assembly. You can see the intercoolers and the air intake tubes. see your actual air intake to the filters, which are back in here. We're gonna pull this off, start to move the intercoolers and the rest of all this assembly so we can get to the engine. And it's like pulling the layers off an onion. So we'll get to it. If you're paying attention to time lapse, you probably noticed I was using an ink pen. We like to use a black permanent ink marker to go around, circle around the bolts that hold on necessary pieces of the bumper. That just makes the reassembly a little more easy. That way we can line everything back up to the way it was from the factory without having to fiddle and move things around and loosen tighten the 50 or so bolts just to try to get the panels aligned properly and everything else. We can just line it to the marks and be done with it and save ourselves a lot of time and just move on with our lives. So there you go. All right, so we have everything disassembled. We have our ECU exposed right here. We're gonna have to do a little bit more disassembly to take it off, but we're gonna remove this and send it off to APR so they can extract the coating on it and flash it for us. And hopefully, because this is a unique box code to California, hopefully we won't have to do this for many other Porsches. Will just be a port flash. But there may be other box codes we may have to do this on, and in that case, more ECUs will have to be pulled. We don't know how many box codes are out there, so we're gonna pull this out, give it to APR. APR was kind enough to do this for us and offer us this tune for this car. Thank you guys a lot. Thank you, APR, and we'll get started and pull this out for them. Woohoo! We got the ECU. It's a really tight squeeze to get out of there. A lot of finagling. And bag it and send off to APR. And hopefully we'll see her back in a few days. We're at a point where we're gonna start pulling off the intercoolers, the rear parts of the plenum, so you can put the IPD plenum in. And we just got our, this car's been here for a few days. We actually just got our ECU back from APR. They pulled out the necessary data, put in the tune for us, and now we can do flash tunes for more California cars without having to take out the ECU. And then we're just gonna continue disassembling things. It's not easy. James has hands that can easily get into places, so he came in favor. My hands would be no good on this. So if you have bigger hands, we imagine you have to take apart more parts. Probably the whole spider tube right here, breathing tube assembly to get that out of the way, get your larger hands in there. And we're ready to rock and roll with putting in the IPD Plenum. Okay, we have the new IPD Plenum. It's a nice piece compared to the Porsche piece. You can see how things smooth flow. It allows the air to flow smoothly through after the throttle body into the intake runners. And they designed some nice custom little aluminum fittings here instead of the flimsy plastic ones that were used by the factory. IPD also provides these clamps. We do a lot of turbocharged cars, a lot of custom cars, and we do not use these clamps. They're not strong, even though these are good quality stainless steel versions. These aren't strong enough to hold things together, especially when the boost pressures climb, which creates a lot of internal pressure on the hosing. And the last thing we want to do is do all this hard work and have a boost leak because the clamps can't hold things down properly. So we actually, when we do turbo systems and supercharging systems, we actually use T-bolt clamps, which are much stronger, and we can get a tighter grip on things with the bolt assembly here. If you buy this product from us, we're gonna also sell you the T-bolt clamps. This is gonna ensure longevity and a solid install of the IPD Plenum. And we're not gonna have to worry about boost leaks or anything crazy happening with the car. So, but this is not to degrade IPD. They made a great product here, and we're happy to have it and install it. So we're gonna get started with it. Holy f, that was hard. I'm not so bad. My hands can't fit in there, but we'll show you what happened to James's finger.
I think it got it on the
gouged you right in the cuticle. It's the worst pain ever. But we got in there. It's definitely a pain in the ass. I have a lift at home, and I would not even do this at home. So I would highly recommend you pay a shop to do this. If not us, somebody else. But it fits. And there she is. Okay, so we got the Plenum in from IPD. Now we have the whole ass end of the car showing. We have the exhaust system from Akrapovic. We're gonna drop this exhaust, and we're, like I mentioned earlier in the film, we have the ECU back from APR Tune, and we're gonna put it back in here and reinstall it.